Hello, it's George White here for another game of Supreme Commander 2. Now I'm going to be playing this, playing this recording at 10 times the speed because I don't want to be here all day. Let's get into it. Now this is another game on the revamp mod between myself, George the Banter Beast, Raging Zero Nutty, Jerkass Bard the Annoying, Tam, Lord of the Darts, and MC the Great. And nobody's there, because nobody from there was playing. Here we can see I've sent out scouts trying to determine the enemy positions. Immediately got shot down by Tam. Jerkass showing that he has nothing in his base. MC shot me down. Zero Nutty doesn't have much either. They will eventually build AA guns, and see, look, we got some Jerkass has got some ready to build. He's also sent out an engineer to build some turrets over here, deny resources to Raging Zero Nutty, who's gone for a quick tactical missile. That is a good choice against turrets. Outrange them, as well as deny any chances of getting those mass deposits for himself. Going for a factory here, not the best choice, not when enemy commander there, as well as those tactical missiles, but that was quickly dealt with. Here we can see, well, me at the top of the map. I'm expanding out, trying to take all of these resources. Blah. My tongue's acting weird today. Ooh, the bombardment is coming down on Jerkass. He's taking a heavy beating. Tam here, fortifying his position. Perhaps he was expecting to be rushed. MC, building up an army, going for shields. Now those are expensive in the revamp mod. They cost about 15 research points, I believe, as well as any prerequisites which come before them. So he's going for a turtle game. He's going for the late game stuff, which is a good tactic in the revamp mod. It's not really well balanced, but nonetheless, planes, as always, have a astonishing amount of health. But those two AA guns took care of them pretty quickly. Tam sending over a scout, learning that MC has a unbelievable amount of anti-air. He's also building shields around his plateau. Without really much to protect with them at this point, there's really no need to be devoting that many resources to these shields, but okay. Over my base here, I was also going for the late game. So I went for the late game fucking hard. I've got more shields than I can be bothered to count. I'm going straight for mass conversion. Got all these research stations, all these power plants. Yeah. I was expecting to be hit heavy by air and was preparing for it. Got a few planes out here to scatter around. Jerkass has been driven off from his original base, losing all 4 of these mass deposits, as well as the facilities he already had. That is a big loss for him and ends up costing him the game. His factory's down here. See, this one isn't building. Now it is. But, yeah, that's not full production. He hasn't got enough mass to sustain all 4 of those factories. His commander here, hiding in the water, because he is a coward. I've expanded down here towards MC's base, building some long-range point defences in case he goes for this mass. Not really too bothered about going for it myself. I've got more than my fair share, I will say. Here I'm building up a ton of energy generators. God damn it, what is it with me today? Energy generators. I've split up my mass converters because when they explode big, and I don't want them to be in a giant pile, otherwise it'll take out half my base. Jerkass Bard moving back into his base to prevent Stephen from taking it from him. Now Tam's going in here for an air assault, trying to take out Stephen. I don't remember these people's fucking names. I talk to them every day. Here we can see prototype defense. Prototype defense for the Aeon Illuminate is not the greatest. Sort of a shotgun effect. Should be fine against clustered aircraft, but these bombers are moving at quite the speed. And yeah, showing the air dominance of Supreme Commander 2 at the moment. Spring Corner 1 tried to deal with this problem by adding fuel in. Now, it's kind of a stupid thing because, well, planes were pretty good at getting fuel. Got my own aircraft here, but not nearly as much as Tam. Got Jordan coming here with some ground forces, but he isn't going to get far, not past those turrets. And Tam is just decimating Stephen's main base, taking out his economy, hitting his, well, everything, quite frankly. Over here, got myself some prototype defense. MC's gone for some subs. No one else in the water other than Jordan at the moment, but, well, jerk-ass Jordan. Yeah, I'll do that quite a lot. But it's a good chance he doesn't know about it. Now here we can see he's got some long-range artillery bombarding my position. Fortunately, I haven't got much down here, and it's quite hard to hit a single small target, so it'll take him quite a while for those artillery actually take things out. Tactical missiles here showing how ineffective they are against a moving army. You really have to get into the classic units before the Aeon have a true artillery for taking out moving enemy troops, but what have you. Jordan's trying to get his own navy set up here. Doesn't currently have the resources. He could barely keep these 4 factories going, let alone a spare sea factory. I'm moving into the middle of the map here. See, I've got a nice block of anti-air and radar planned for the centre. Trying to get a bit more intel, know what I'm up against. Artillery down on this side. Took out that mass extractor, but that's okay. I've got a gratuitous amount by now. Still building more energy generators. I'm really going for the mass conversion on, I think, about around now. I've got about 4 of these scattered around. Yes, 1, 2, 3... Perhaps a 4th one is up there somewhere. I just can't see it at this time. I believe it's behind there. Yes. Now here you can see Stephen has been all but wiped off the map. He's got his commander and his small outpost here, but this will not hold up against Tam's assault. Not if he wants to. Ooh, straight through the shield there. Taking out the radar. That will severely reduce the effectiveness of those AA guns. And just obliterating that front line. They're going to flee, but being taken out by Tam's bombers, who, even through a nuclear explosion, really haven't taken much damage. You can see about almost a half of their health being gone. That is a ridiculous amount of HP. Tam's got some good production going on down here, a lot better than mine, and MC is turtling pretty hard right now, but he doesn't have that much artillery, meaning his attacks are not particularly great at this point in time. He's got quite a few subs, but he's not utilizing them, which means he doesn't really he's not really maximizing the use of the mass he's getting in. He hasn't really got that many mass deposits. Got the 4 on his base and the 3 on the outside. That's not good. See Jordan still holding on. I believe he's trying to reclaim his base at this point in time. Yeah, I can see the queued up mass deposits. Stephen down here trying to rebuild what's left of his base. He'll get wiped out soon enough. See my fighters coming in here, skirmishing with Tam's. Of course, if Tam really wanted, he could have wiped out my air force, but I guess he doesn't want to devote the forces right now. One of the key problems I will say that may have been crucial in this battle is, 1, taking all of your mass deposits. It's pretty simple, but if you forget to do it, then you're really just not going to have enough resources to maintain the production you need to, well, win the game. See Tam coming in here for a strike on MC. Really, how the fuck do you say that? See, proving that he doesn't really have that much anti-air. This may prove disastrous. Or not, as it would seem. So this is what it's like when you play online with friends. Crazy shit happens. Well, here we see Tam coming in, hitting my outpost in the middle of the map. I have a few prototype defense. This probably won't hold up to a continued assault. Not even with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shield generators I've got there. Of course, my own forces in the mix. No, a concentrated assault would have lost me that outpost, but then again, Tam didn't fall through with it. If he was waiting to build up a nice ball of fighter bombers, then I could understand this tactic, but he never pulls through in the end. Spoilers. See Jordan coming around. I guess he decided to finish off what was the last. Yes, Zero Nutty is dead. It's funny because it's generally agreed that I am sort of one of the better players amongst our little group, and Zero Nutty would be the second best. Now, no one wants to pick a fight with me because they think that I'm a lot better at this game than I am. But of course, if you can't take out the leader, you always go for the second guy. If you know you can take out the one of the stronger players, you do it, which is why we always kill Steven every time. See my fighter bombers coming in here, doing a few strikes on Jordan. More harassment than anything, taking away his radar so we can't see my fighter bombers going about their business. Nice little outpost here, a lot of defensive guns. I was expecting an air assault, obviously. Here we can see MC building an experimental shield generator, and his artillery are bombarding Tam's base. Of course, Tam without any shields and without a quick way of taking out those artillery, at least not in a good fashion, having to abandon his base. Now here come the fighter bombers moving in. Their target was a land factory. Despite all these rather unprotected artillery, I mean, 2 shield generators, those fighter bombers would have chewed through that. But whatever. Experimental shield generator playing in there for most of those fighter bombers. Second one going up. You have to manually charge these things, which doesn't seem bad on principle, but if you're under constant assault, that's a lot of mass converters, damn. But on principle, if you're spending that much energy from a continuous assault from the enemy, you're going to find yourself running out of power pretty darn well quickly, especially with only that many energy generators. Oh, Tam moving here for a ground push. There's a lot of ground defences here, but if he makes a strike quickly, it could pay off for him in the long run. Moving in, big clash with these rockhead tanks. Moving through the shields. Working through that one. Is he going to go for the commander? Yes, he is. Oh, look at that damage. This might be the end of MC. And he pulls off an escape pod in a nick of time. Very nicely played. Of course, now those fighter bombers are just getting ripped to shred. Ripped to shreds. By all these heavy anti-air towers. Imagine he's been setting them up for a good portion of the game. Of course, now Tam is up shit creek without a paddle, as he has no way of taking out those artillery. Oh, seems Jerkass brought his commander back onto land. It proved to be fatal. Of course, me without many upgrades on my fighter bombers, they fall down from a nuclear explosion, unlike Tam's. And a Tier 2 classic submarine hunter. A good unit, but torpedoes in Supreme Commander are never particularly deadly. They're only good when used in mass, which I think is kind of a flaw, but what have you. Me building a cruiser over here with my block of shields and anti-air, although prototype defense does count as anti-ground as well. These Tier 2 energy generators get my mass conversion into high gear, despite the fact that I more or less have half the map. Jordan's still holding on, got quite a few AA guns, and ah yes, I remember what happened. Sorry I missed that. I'm not the best YouTube commentator. Tam committed suicide and attempted to use his commander as a walking bomb. It failed. Okay. Wasn't particularly fun to watch the first time. Just not enough fighter bombers there to be making a difference, and don't know what he's doing sending free loyalists in as a scouting party, but you have the planes overhead. Tier 2 cruiser, looking sexy as ever. Reading the outlines of Jordan's base. MC going for a land gantry here. Obviously this was his plan all along in the end. Get land experimentals and hope to push into my base. Tier 2 destroyer, more fighter bombers moving out. My commander's moving into the water, but he's just going to set up more classic naval factories. MC's artillery bombing the outlines of my base, but of course single structures out in the middle of nowhere are very hard to hit with artillery. Not for the want of trying. Now that's a big ball of subs and cruisers here. If he wanted, he could make a good push into the middle of the map, take out the defences here, possibly using the subs to take out the structures, as I don't think you'd really want the cruisers in all that. Keep the aircraft off, take out that destroyer, take out the middle of the centre of the map, and he probably could have obtained quite a bit of map control. Unfortunately, I guess he wasn't as rehearsed with the units as I am, so never mind. We can see, yes, that is a fat boy being produced there. Very nice, very nice. More shield generators, more of Tam's fighter bombers just getting slain. At this point of the game, I think Tam's pretty much given up after those artillery strikes. So this is why I sped up the game by times 10 the speed. Wow, I've really gone to town with these classic naval factories. See, even as the Aeon, you can get a navy now. Magical. Magical. Jordan, building a lot of power generators on the outside of his ring of anti-air, I suppose. He was expecting an air attack from me, and he did get quite a few of them in the end. So I can hardly blame him from wanting to try that strategy out. Oh, and here we see a tier 3 missile ship. Now these things have extreme range and rapid fire tactical missiles. They will rip enemy shields to pieces and destroy enemy bases within minutes. Problem is travel time with the missiles. They take a while to get to the destination, so you get quite a bit of overkill. Not too bad if an enemy's going to try and rebuild his base in the same place, but not overly convenient either. See the first fat boy. It's been constructed. He's probably got another one on the way. Probably gonna hold off until he's got a few of them before he goes in for the assault. Still building more cruisers, but he's still not using them. If you're not gonna use them, why build them? Come on, man. It's just wasting money. Wasting money. Damn, spreading out his engineers. Doesn't think it's going to be too long before he gets attacked and killed. He can't go over to Jordan's position, because Jordan's rapid fire point defense will rip him to shreds, and, well, there's a fat boy on the other side. Could always go for the center of the map, but of course I have cruisers and destroyers. At this point they'd started to realise that I've got something big in the water. Simply devastating. Of course, they have two anti-what? No. Oh, I'm terribly sorry. They have two tactical missile launchers on each on the front and back of the ship. Quite a bit of firepower. At this point, I was sort of spamming them. Of course, we've got some battleships coming up soon. Here we go. Now, the problem with the classic units is that they don't know how to arc their shots. So, that plateau there, while the edges of it are assailable by almost anything, the centre of it was not assailable by my battleships in the end. Now, that's something important to consider. While the normal Supreme Commander 2 units, most of them, if not all of them, know how to properly arc their shells when they need to. But the classic units do not, and that is a big disadvantage, especially in water maps. It's not as noticeable with the classic ground units, and, well, you shouldn't really be noticing it with the classic air units, but the classic naval units have a supreme disadvantage when it comes to the terrain. It's just something worth noting. At this point, I had noticed MC's frankly quite gratuitous navy at this point. I did get a little frightened. I didn't want him to take out my missile ships and, of course, my new battleships. So I had started to assemble all the forces I had. Look at him, he's so excited he's not even following hydrodynamics. Simply magical. Oh, there we go, he's back in line. Very nice, very nice. Here we see three fat boys moving down towards Tam and Jordan's position. It's pretty much game over for them. Got some mobile shields, tanks with all the upgrades, I believe, apart from the anti-air. Not that they're really going to need much. I mean, Tam could pull off some sort of miracle move if his factories weren't paused, but whatever, I suppose. My missile ships here, proving their effectiveness and just ripping this base to pieces. Well, I'll never. Whoa. Sorry about that. I guess they're not completely useless after all. I guess I'll have to rescind my comment before. Although you will note that he is kind of skimming the edge with that. I don't think his guns are even at 45 degrees. So you might need to move your ships around a bit before they're in the right position. Ah. MC's assault on Tam's base. Hardly a challenge. Of course, not keeping the fat boys on the move makes them highly susceptible to tactical missile launchers. Something worth noting that while tactical missile launchers aren't best against ground forces, that's only because they're not very good at leading a target. And the ground defenses he have here is tearing into MC's army pretty well, but of course the bombardment capability. Oh, Tam there just deleting the rest of his forces so he doesn't have to share the shame of defeat. Oh, sorry about that. Sort of tugged on the wire there for a second. Jordan's forces highly under-upgraded and not utilising bots. Not utilising his bots. Ah! I swear to God, there's like something sitting on my tongue. But not utilising his bots to their fullest capability. You have to keep them on the move. They don't have the health to sustain direct confrontation with enemy tanks. Rather foolish there, if I may say. My fighter bombers here coming in. As you can see, I've taken this part of the map as well for all its resource wealth. Fighter bombers finishing off the last of the rust. I am terribly sorry, people. Ah, what's wrong with me? Here we can see very large naval battle here. I was drastically trying to maneuver my ships so that I could avoid as much cruiser fire as possible. While cruisers are best known for their bombardment... Oh, God. Oh, I'm so sorry. they are best known for their bombardment capabilities via their tactical missiles, their cannons still pack a punch. Of course, Aeon ships fire a lot less shots than the UEF counterparts, but Aeon ships do, however, do much more damage. Now at this point, you can see that these subs, despite the many destroyers I have, did take a lot longer than the cruisers to destroy. Whether that's that the destroyers have to fire their torpedoes independent of their main cannon, I'm not sure. But it did take a while to take care of those submarines. You see me browse over the unit just so I can remember what the fuck they're called. Got some gunships here, not like it really matters. Ah, yes, I have a carrier. Carriers in Spring Commander 2 are good because they can keep on the move while building. In Spring Commander 1, they had to stand still, which is absolutely ridiculous. Here it's not so bad. Production, not the best, but over an extended engagement, it could prove to be quite the powerhouse in production. Quite the few fat boys here, but of course, have quite the bombardment capability on his base. Did his commander get away? No, I believe I killed him. Proving that these experimental shield generators are not always the best choice. Although against this many tactical missiles, what is? Here we can see MC's military attempting to move around the map, possibly trying to head for my base. This could prove troublesome for me. However, I don't think it's going to be much of a problem, not when I have this many missile cruisers? They're just missile ships. Just ripping apart MC's base here. My fleet moving in here to try and engage. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me today. But my fleet trying to engage the last of his ground forces. However, they are far too close, or incapable, of arcing their shots over this small piece of terrain. Wow, it seems like quite a lot. Bit of a shame. Would have been nice to get more use out of them, but whatever, I suppose. Just lethal damage for these tactical missiles. Their only disadvantage is they're not good at leading a target. Proven by the fact that if they go for the one at the beginning of the formation, they'll hit the one at the rear. Fortunately, that line was long enough that could at least take out all of the back ones, while stray missiles take out the front ones. Now, I believe at this point his tanks do have AA, which was dealing with my gunships here. However, I was already preparing for that by building an experimental bomber. Originally for the Seraphim in Spring Commander 1, finds its way into the arsenal of the Aeon Illuminate in Spring Commander 2. Her bomb is not as good as it used to be, but it has a very, very strong EMP effect, which makes it deadly against shields and the like. Good at hitting large armies, but it doesn't have the best accuracy. It's very much a unit that you would like to use once you've established aerial superiority and you just want to hammer home a larger target. Of course, the bombardment here, always good to watch. One strike, not a bad shot. Disabled some of their units, not doing that much damage. Oh, just lethal damage to the rest of that formation. Of course, they are getting very close, which is why my super speedy experimental bomber is going absolutely nuts trying to deal with them. Of course, MC didn't really know what to expect because he didn't scout. It's his fault, I suppose. Here we can see one of the problems with arcing. Tactical missiles, on their downward arc, hitting the side of the terrain. Not entirely unexpected, but still annoying nevertheless. Experimental bomber here. Moving in to do some damage. Got 2 battleships in the bay. Fortunately, they are able to arc over the terrain here. Here. Ooh. Here we see 2 experimental bombers. See that one in the distance bouncing off the terrain? Good job there. You see, we used the best of the Seraphim's technology. The best. Almost makes me wish I had that experimental nuke launcher right now. But we did have nukes disabled in this game. I believe as well as long-range artillery. Although he was... No, I'm guessing long-range artillery was not disabled. I'm sorry. I'm feeding you lies here today, people. Lies! All the lies! Look at the carnage. Hear me trying to get my missile ships as close as possible, try and just skimp over this last bit of terrain, but they just wasn't making it. More missile ships over here. Now, usually this map isn't that much of a naval dominated map, because it's quite hard to get inland. As Cybran, you can get the boats, but they are a little clunky, so it's not always possible. But yeah, I mean, naval domination as the Aeon wasn't expected. One land turret. Damn you, sir! Damn you to hell. And here comes my gunship to finish the job. Or bomber, as it would seem. Thank you very much for watching, and have a nice day.